Good morning. Hi, everyone. So, I had some people ask over the weekend about setting goals and New Year's resolutions and all that stuff that comes up in January. So, I wanted to just kind of go over a few things that help people a lot this month. I don't typically set New Year's resolutions myself. It's not really something I've ever done. And I don't really find that many people stick to their New Year's resolutions when they do make them or start something January 1st, other than maybe having a big boost of energy in January, right? Where they've got some more time on their hands because the holidays are over and maybe they work out a little more for a few weeks or something. But in general, for kind of setting goals, there are some things that can really be helpful. So I like to look at January as sort of that, get that boost of energy and maybe do the free trial month, right, of a few different things. See if you like the gym membership, see if you like eating healthier, whatever. But I really like to use January as a time to reflect. How did last year go? Where am I now that I, was different than a year ago? Really looking at the changes that you've made or didn't make, right? Sometimes we get there and we go, wow, I really thought I'd have this done by now. Really thought I would have gotten to this year. So I do like it as a reflection month when the kind of chaos of the holidays are over to be able to take a look at how things went and what you wanted to see get done or, were able to achieve. Sometimes you get there and you're like, wow, I can't believe how much has changed in a year, right? So it's a really neat time to reflect. Once you're done reflecting, then using that for positive momentum can be wonderful, right? Rather than berating yourself for not getting something done last year or starting a goal and not making it all the way. I really like the idea of using that, give yourself grace, and then using it to inform you what you need to do differently, right? So, what do I need to do differently this year that I didn't do last year? And some of that is just more specific goal setting. So, I'll try to keep it pretty brief because I know attention spans are short, but I like to use what's called SMART goals. So I'll get myself, a little sheet and just kind of make these SMART goals, right? So SMART stands for being specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and of course, time bound. So, really, what we're talking about when we're talking about setting SMART goals is how can I change? I want to be healthier, or I want to lose weight, or I want to work out more to something that actually will equate to getting to that place, where we can look back a year later and go, oh, yeah, I'm much healthier than I was a year ago. Or, oh, yeah, I'm still working out 3 days a week. That's amazing, right? So, whatever your goals are, could be to paint a living room, it could be to start a new business, right? It could just be to spend more time with friends. I want you to think about how can you make it more specific, right? Rather than I want to be more social, I want to get out of the house more often, which is a very general goal, right? How can you take that general goal and make it specific? Right. So there's lots of different examples. If you were trying to be more social, you might say, I want to choose one friend to see once per month for the next 11 months, right? That's really specific, right? Or if you want to eat healthier, you might say, I want to add greens to my dinner meal every single day if possible. Yeah, thanks for the comment. The goal should be something we can control, right? Something, if you're trying to change somebody else, that's not helpful, right? So you say, I want my relationship better because I want my spouse to clean the house more. That's not really in our control, right? There's things we can do, but yes, picking goals that we have control over. And I think that's where the achievable comes in, right? As we get through the SMART goals, A for achievable is thinking about, is this something I can actually do, right? I'm a busy mom. If I were to set a goal that said, I want to work out 6 days a week for 2 hours a day, not that I think that would be healthy, but it also wouldn't be achievable. I just don't have that kind of time on my hands, right? And so setting goals that are very specific, we can measure them and say, did I make it? Did I actually do it for as long as I said I would? So it might be something achievable, like I'd like to work out 10 minutes a day, 3 days a week, right? And again, going back to the S, being as specific as possible. So can we be really specific about, is it Monday, Wednesday, Friday? Is it Saturday, Monday, Friday, right? Like being as specific as possible, right? Those are going to help you achieve your goal because it's a lot easier to get to the end of the week and be like, oh, I never got around to it if you don't have something specific. If you're really specific, then you're going to get to Monday at 4 p.m. and say, oh, it's on my calendar. I said Mondays at 4 p.m. was my workout time for 10 minutes, right? And so again, kind of looking at how do we then make it measurable, right? Can we make it achievable? So starting in very small chunks. If we haven't done it before, really starting small. It might feel too small for you, but I'd rather you have that and get success than to try to do something too big at the very beginning, right? Making it relevant, that's the R. So relevant is really about like, is it relevant to you, right? If somebody else wants you to lose weight, you might not find that relevant, right? But do I want my heart to be healthier so I can live a long time for my kids? That to me feels really relevant. Then I might think, oh yeah, okay, I'm open to adding cardio into my workout, for 10 minutes a few times a week because I want my heart healthier. That feels relevant, right? So thinking about, are your goals relevant to you, not someone else, not your boss, but for you? Is it, I want to get out of debt because that's going to reduce my stress, right? Is this relevant to me to reduce my debt by a certain amount each month? So really thinking about relevancy. Yes, the chair yoga ads are coming up like crazy in January. So 5 minutes can be all you need. And really, when we think about setting those really achievable goals and that are time bound, right? Like working out for 5 minutes, the habit is what we're looking at. Because can you imagine if you got in that habit? Maybe 2 or 3 months in, you might decide, I'm going to increase my goal and I want to do 10 minutes, right? But we want to do the habit first. We want to feel success. We want to give ourselves a couple, months to really get into a place where we're feeling success. They find with research over and over again, right, that we set ourselves up for success. We have some successes are going to boost our confidence. And then the motivation is going to come later, right? We'll start getting to a place where we feel like we're motivated to get in there and do it. But the motivation comes after action. We set up the action, we do the thing. Maybe it's the 5 minute chair yoga 3 times a week. Maybe it's 5 minutes of intense cardio and jumping jacks, whatever it might be. And then down the road, 6, 8 weeks into the habit forming, because it does take a lot of weeks for a format to have a habit to form, excuse me, then we'll all of a sudden have motivation to maybe add an extra minute. Maybe I'll want to add a few more minutes of this and that, right? So really thinking about that and reflecting, on how did the last year go? What worked for you? What didn't work for you, right? Do you need an accountability partner? Do you need, to be doing things at home because trying to get out of the house is just too difficult with your life circumstances? What will make it more achievable? Right? Really looking at each of those goals. I want you to be able to write out something for each of those SMART goals, to make it specific, make it measurable, make it achievable, make it relevant to you, and then make it time bound, right? So time bound could be how much time you're going to spend on each thing, right? If I want to get my finances in order, I might be spending 15 minutes every Friday afternoon putting in my budget and how did I meet it. It doesn't have to be a lot of time, but it does need to be time bound, right? And again, also setting expectations of when will I have this done by, right? A specific day, a specific time, maybe even having in your calendar, like in 6 months, will I sit down and reevaluate these goals and decide, do I want to increase the amount, right? So that can be time bound too. By 6 months, I'd like to have done X, Y, and Z, and then I want to reevaluate, do I want to change anything, right? It doesn't have to be just January that we reevaluate our goals. In fact, the more we're self-monitoring and reevaluating, the better we're going to do. Well, I really appreciate you tuning in, and I hope that these SMART goals were helpful for you. Obviously, I'll be reposting this so you can look at it again and again and use January to set up some good long-term goals, set yourself up for success, and again, giving yourself grace that you don't need to have a January 1st start date, and you most certainly don't have to be hard on yourself if you did quit by Quitter's Day last Friday. What I'd like for you is really to set yourself up for success because we have 11 and a half more months right now that you can be doing a lot of really great things. So hope this helps. Talk to you later.